afternoon, and welcome to the Las Vegas Rotary Club. A connection to this fine city like no other, with friendship and camaraderie you can actually feel. Providing a grounding and a foundation of service to others that at times will go unrealized, but fully recognized by the people you serve. My name is Kirk Alexander, and I'm honored to be the 102nd president of this fine club. Leading us today in inspirational leadership thought of the day and invocation, Tommy Brown.
Will you join me in prayer? Our God and our Father, we bow our heads and open our hearts and minds to hear from you and to learn from you, for we know that wisdom comes from you. We acknowledge and affirm that faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life. As Rotarians, we are taught to practice service above self. We value and respect the truth and enjoy the friendships made here at Las Vegas Rotary. We honor your power and your majesty as the creator of the universe. May we as Rotarians commit to protect and preserve it for future generations. We thank you for our speaker today, his lifetime of service to our country. Truly, service to humanity is the best work of life. Bless now the food that we are about to consume, the hands that prepared it, and those that serve it. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Can you? Good. All right. I would like to have Greg McGuire kind of lead us in a song that is appropriate for our guests today.
Captain Greg McGuire.
Well, everybody knows this is an Air Force town, and so I'm glad I finally have some reinforcements here. Thank you, Admiral Captain, for jumping up. We're going to blow the Navy's 249th birthday was just last week. I'm sure the Admiral's going to talk about that. But we're going to blow the doors off here with anchors away. That's it, Steve.
Oh, start it again. Turn up the volume. With the volume.
Anchors away, my boys. Anchors away. Farewell to college joys. We sail at break of day through our last night ashore, where we roam until we meet once more. Here's wishing you a happy boys home. Eagle and sailor, we're gonna sail away. All right, good job.
Very nice. All right, leading us in a pledge of allegiance, our Sergeant at Arms, Robert Somali. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, before you have a seat, of the things we think, say, or do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
All right, please be seated.
Go, Navy!
All right, so our Let's Build Something Together today. Rotary Moment is going to be shared by Brian Riley.
So my Rotary moment today is a little bit inspired by my son who's here today, and our days in Hawaii. Dylan came over and lived with me, graduated from high school in Hawaii, and then he came back and was around during the pandemic. And basically, that particular experience of being home in the pandemic led him to be involved with me in a lot of different endeavors. And one of them was the kind of the fourth tenet of the four-way test is beneficial to all concerned. And it kind of led both Dylan and I to change our perspective on being judgmental and, basically assuming things about people and looking at the best in people. And that particular moment was generated when the pandemic hit, and the Rotary Club was basically the largest. We didn't have the big food banks that we have here, the 3 squares, the 4 squares all here. We're feeding all these people. The Rotary Club was instrumental in doing that. So what we did is we worked with the Salvation Army, of which we had a couple of members. And, we went and originally got a container given to us by Madison, a big shipping company, and one of our members even had to rewire the side of the building at the Salvation Army to basically have a big storage unit to keep food in. And subsequently, we made a deal with Costco, and we ended up filling this container with all these things, and Dylan was out there. We got to do this together, and we built this big food supply, and we became one of the big suppliers during the pandemic. But one of the things that led me to really change my perspective on just running with how I perceive the world is one of the first weekends when people were really starting to run short on food supply, this and that. Dylan and I went to a school, and we combined these bags that we made from all the Costco supplies and the USDA supplies, and we decided we're feeding people. We made some sandwiches that day, and the cars started lining up, and they were lining up literally for a mile. And Dylan and I looked out, and all of a sudden we see the big BMWs rolling in, and the Ford F-350s, and all these expensive cars and stuff. And we were like, what in the world is going on here? What are these freeloaders doing at these things when we're trying to feed people? But then what we come to realize, or come to think about when you make a snap judgment about people, is that everybody's living their nice, comfortable, normal life, and they had just enough to pay for all these accoutrements in life, their rent and their payment and their cars. But when the rug was pulled out from under them, they couldn't make adjustments quickly. So they still had these cars. They didn't have time to go sell their expensive car that they comfortably had the money to make a payment on 2 months before. Now they were underwater, and they were so desperate that they didn't have groceries to put on the table. And Dylan and I, our eyes were really, really opened at that time to how the average American lives and how fortunate we are here as Rotarians to not only live a different way of life than most people, not be exposed to this stuff, but be instrumental in changing the lives of others and benefiting those that are in need.
Thank you, Brian. That was great. Wonderful. Thank you for, I'd like to thank our meeting champions, the setup team, Bob Warner and Kathy Mayhem. The warm welcome greeters consisted of Eric Smoller and Nancy Anderson, and had some others there as well. David Jones and Stu Lipoff on the marketing and presentations of our meeting, and Bob Pizer and Nikki Junian on the raffle ticket sales. Closing out today is Tucker Sappington and Michael Williams. Our recording history, our scribe Larry Goldstein, and Facebook streaming Rod Tucker. Rod's here actually. And capturing the moment, our meeting photographer for today is Samantha. She is not a member, but she's here instead of Sarah Thornton. What I'd like to do now is introduce you to the head table and have you recognize Charity Hardison, the Admiral's wife, Monica, and Admiral Martinez. All right, so we're going to have some time for guests to tell us a little bit about them, if they're here. Guests of the club? Any guests here today? We have any visiting Rotarians? Oh.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cheryl Silvers. I'm with Creative Design Studio. I am not new to the Rotary group because I worked with Kathy Galby for over 10 years. I always help with the Christmas thing, and I feel that one of the things that Kathy did to myself and a couple of other ladies is I am now friends with Janice, which I did not know before, but she gifted us the friendship of this little group of people. So anyway, I was in the neighborhood. I knew today was Rotary, so I decided to pop in and surprise her.
Hello, fellow Rotarians. I'd like to welcome you to Anna. Anna is a guest of mine. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anna Aberly. I own Aberly West Design and Marketing, and what I do is I make you look good, and you guys aren't even in the room. From a business card to your flyers to your billboards, I make sure you look good all the time. So thank you guys for inviting me. I've never been here before, so this is fabulous. So I actually have made you guys look good for a couple of years now. These flyers I did not design, but the last set I did. So I've done that for the last like 2 or 3 years. So.
Any international guests? Oh, we got a guest. Robert Becker.
Meeting Tony Kaloje from Orlando, Florida, who's visiting to dry out.
Howdy, everybody. Thank you very much. I'm Tony Kaloje with the Do to Buy. I'm Tony with the Do to Buys. I do project management, CRM, websites, social media, all that good stuff. I've been involved with Rotary for only about a year or so, but I like everything I've been doing. This is my first visit to a group that's not my own. Nice to see a nice big group, and thank you all for inviting me. Thank you very much.
So we do have visiting Rotarians, see?
Hello, everybody. Lisa Motley, LDCA, and I can usually talk pretty loud anyway. I have 2 distinguished guests for you today. Sitting here to my right is Brian Gibbs, who's the Chief Operating Officer for the LDCA, and I believe a past presenter here at Rotary Club, so we'll give him back. And then very honored to have Spencer Schapp here. He is the Sports and Special Events Coordinator for the LDCA. He is a recent grad of UNLV. And he was our intern for 2 years, and he was just so incredible that we hired him full time. So thank you for allowing me to be here.
Any other guests? Brian's got a guest.
I'd like to introduce my son once again, who is here today, and he's heading with me to Hawaii tomorrow to help me work on my project. Pretty cheap labor.
Any other guests? Okay, so a nice round of applause to welcome all of our guests today. All right, next up on the agenda is announcements of our current activities, which will include Captain Mahan, Attorney Colonel Tina Bishop, I'll get it right this time. Back you guys around the other way. And Don Holland, Jim Cole, Janice Sankey, Rosalie Hedrick, Jim Hunt, and Greg McGuire. At the end of this, the announcements, we're going to have a brief video that is representing the one drop lock. Are we ready to go?
Okay, past President Jim Hunt here. I've got a lot to cover for our next week's Halloween party / 30th cigar social at Tom and Jane Crowe's beautiful home up at the top of Far Hills. It's a potluck, so please bring a side dish if you can bring one. That's great. It's optional Halloween party, but I already know that there's going to be some good costumes, so if you can, think about that. And I want to mention a couple of nice donations that we've got. Two of the most unique donations we've got for our raffle. One of them is this beautiful hand-blown glass ashtray from Domsky Glass. We just met Barbara Domsky a little bit ago. She gave us a tour of her beautiful studio in Highland. And they've got metalwork art and hand-blown glass pieces. And thanks to Janice, who always steps up. She's given us a bunch of other stuff as well. So thanks very much. Also, just a little bit ago, Brian Riley gave me this really unusual Stogie mag. The Stogie magazines resemble a .50 caliber magazine clip. And what you do is you remove the top, and you actually load the cigars like they're a .50 caliber magazine clip. Pretty cool. So these would be two very unique raffle prizes that we'll have. If anyone else has prizes they'd like to donate, again, thanks to Tony Kern and Jerry for donating some cool Rotary golf balls. Anything else, please let me know. Next, 1 week from this Saturday is the party. Make sure your name gets in the green book so we can get the gate code to you. It's going to be a blast.
And no regulations on the size of that magazine.
No, donated by a couple of buddies of mine.
I think you need to stay another week so that you can go to that party. Hi everyone, I'm Tony Kern, House President, and with respect to our Greener Planet Giant Student Market on Saturday we just had, I want to thank all the Rotarians that participated. And that was, hello, I've used my name. We had Tina Bishop, Aaron Campillo, Robert Mars, Rita Burton, Michael Williams, and we had, I have to keep looking here, I apologize, Larry Cohn, Susan Ziobro. If I forgot anybody from here, that should be 10 people, including myself. We had 2 people from the After Hours Club, which was great. We also had 2 people from the newly chartered Davis Verde Club, which was wonderful, so we had a great time. The next one is going to be in the spring, so if you have not participated, please try to sign up again. Also, for our honors flight, for those of you that want to participate, it's this Sunday. We will be welcoming back the honors flight group. One of them is our former member, Ted McAdams, so it would be really cool if he would be greeted by a number of his fellow Rotarians. That is on Sunday. It will be at 5 p.m. It's at Terminal 1 Southwest. You meet on the 2nd level above the baggage. And if you want to know more information, you can either see me or look in the green book, on the weekly email, because all of the information is there, and it's flight 2365. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Rosalie Hendrick. I am the treasurer for the foundation board, and we have a full house for our corporate tour, which is next Tuesday afternoon from 2 to 3 at the Las Vegas Valley Water District, the cleaning facility, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for all of you who provided your ID and signed up for the event. We're going to have a great time. So that's next Tuesday, the 29th. We'll see you all there. Have a good time.
Hi everyone, Janice Lenke, President-elect, here to talk about the holiday party, Thursday, December 5th. Really fun highlights. We try to change it up every year, do something special. So this year, Legacy High School Orchestra will be performing for us during dinner. We're very excited about that. We also have a silent auction with some very nice items. We are going to have, I'm putting Robert on the spot, Masterpiece Cuisine is going to be donating a party package, not bringing the food that night, but arranging the recipient to be able to schedule some food for an upcoming party. And we also are graced again with Greg Marshmallow Head McGuire as our DJ. And please sign up. We are at JW Marriott, and we were there a couple years ago. It was fabulous. We're going to be in a different ballroom. They just renovated. It's gorgeous, free parking, easy access. Thank you.
Janice, you want to mention something about the Zion Youth tickets?
President Kirk, my fellow Rotarians and guests, Jim Cole, past president, current vice president. Got a couple things to announce. First of all, for Santa Claus, the backpack stuffing is going to be on Saturday, November 30th at 9 o'clock at the Boy Scout area facility. So I invite you to sign up for Green Book as a new sign up. I'm also looking for a volunteer check-in at the Galleria Mall and a shopper para person for Galleria Mall as well. And we need another cashier at the Meadows Mall. So if we could do that, please note that in the Green Book as well. Santa Claus is going to be on Thursday, December 5th, starting at 7 o'clock at the various malls. And I hope that you all can come join and shop. And then if you don't like to shop, you can join me down at the Boy Scout area council facility for the field day portion where the students from UNLV Athletics will be working with the kids and have a great time. So hopefully I'll see you either at the malls or at Boy Scouts. Thanks.
All right, good afternoon, Rotarians again. Greg McGuire here. Did anybody check the weather for tomorrow? High of 70 degrees in Las Vegas. You know what that means? It's football weather. And we're going out to see UNLV against San Diego State on November 16th at Friday Night Lights in Vegas. Tickets are please sign up in the Green Book. We'll have a tailgate beforehand, and Neil's going to prepare a marvelous dish, I'm sure. And we'll have we'll set up a tailgate one of the parking lots. There'll be a lot of instructions. This year we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to have to close the tickets out by around October 30th and buy them in advance, because last year we just waited a little bit too long. So if you're interested in going, it's probably going to be about $70 a ticket. Unfortunately, UNLV is doing really, really well right now, and they're able to jack their prices, and it's in the Legion Stadium. It's worth every penny. We'll have that'll include the $70 will include the tailgate. If you have tickets already and just want to participate in the tailgate, that'll probably be around $15. So sign up for the Green Book, November 16th. It'll be about 5 o'clock tailgate, 7:30 in the stadium. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bob Holland. I'm chairman of the Wetzel Awards program at Nellis Air Force Base. As Captain Greg McGuire said just a few minutes ago, quoting him, I believe, Las Vegas is an Air Force town. So in that spirit, next Thursday, the 24th, after the meeting, we're going to welcome everyone who's interested. Come on out to Nellis Air Force Base for the quarterly Wetzel Award, one of the signature programs of the Las Vegas Rotary Club, where we honor 4 distinguished airmen. These are not the glamour boys who are flying the jets. These are the enlisted airmen who are doing the grunt work every day, making the operations go smoothly. And so hope you'll come out. You can sign up in the Green Book or online. So thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Okay, I have a couple of things. Next week, besides Wetzel Awards, it's also World Polio Day. I want to remind everybody to please come to the meeting in your branded attire, preferably a red polo or t-shirt if you have it, if not, just a Rotary logo. There'll be a picture immediately following our meeting and before you head out to Wetzel. The next thing I'd like to talk about is One Drop. That's coming up November 9th. I sent out an email to everybody that I had that had signed up to Walk for Water, One Drop's Walk for Water. But I need a release from you so that if you get hurt, you know. So I have them here if you forgot to sign them. If you'd like to sign up, my deadline to turn this in is end of day today, which for me is at midnight. I'll send it at 7 a.m. tomorrow. They're getting ready to order the t-shirts. Just so you can see how much fun this event is and what they do, and I think the important thing is that you voluntarily can carry a bucket of water on this 2-mile walk to really get an idea of what some people in the world have to do just to get clean water in their home. And you'll see that in this video. So, take it away.
So we started Water Up with the idea that we provide access to safe water and sanitation globally.
That's something to look forward to. That sounds like a lot of fun. And for a good cause, of course. So I heard we had a highway cleanup last weekend, and 9 students from Palo Verde High School showed up to help out. It went on really well, apparently. We have on your tables, you all have something that you can contribute cash to for the food drive, and that meeting is coming up with Kiwanis real fast on us. All right, so that's it for what our activities are right now. Is Steve Dixon in the room? All right, so Nikki Bates is going to come up. She's got an introduction to make.
Good afternoon, Rotarians and guests. Would Carrie Rose please come up here? Anil, Bob Potter, or Robert Potter, are you here? There you are. And Gary Voss. Jerry, I saw your card. Where are you? We have a very special presentation today. And you guys know I am. I think once an educator, always an educator, so I have to tell you a little bit about what this is about. Becoming a Paul Harris Fellow is a tremendous accomplishment and honor that multiplies our community impact, not just here, but around the world. Fundamentally, Paul Harris Fellows, in a very tangible way, help to provide stepping stones for a more harmonious world by supporting the 7 major causes of Rotary International. Sometimes I think we forget what all of those causes are, so I would like to review them. Promoting peace, fighting disease, providing clean water, sanitation, and hygiene. That's one reason we support organizations like OneDrop. Saving mothers and children, supporting education, growing local economies, and protecting the environment. The Paul Harris Society recognizes Rotary members, just like you four, who contribute in $1,000 increments. Today, we honor Rotarians who are multiple Harris Fellows, meaning they have given in multiple increments of $1,000. Therefore, it gives me great pleasure to ensure we honor Carrie with her Paul Harris +1. Yes. Anil, your Paul Harris +5. And we have Bob Potter, your Paul Harris +6. And we have Gary Voss, your Paul Harris +8.
We urge you to wear your pin to all Rotary events as a symbol of your appreciation and your support. And this exemplifies all of our support. It is such support that truly makes a difference in our world. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations to all of you. So an achievement that should be recognized. Mr. Potter? Mr. Potter? Just a moment, sir. Does anybody know who this guy is? Okay, good. I wanted to see the hands. I always tease him. I met him at an Alpine picnic on a hike about 8 or 9 years ago. And I was like, are you here with somebody? Are you here with a friend? Is he a member or something? Yeah, I didn't know who he was. And he told me that he's been a member forever. Thanks, Bob, for being here. All right. With that, I believe we go to raffle time. So, for the pot of, what is it, $2,100? The number is 1860. 1860. Our visiting Rotary from Florida. All right. No? Not really?
I got check. Somebody else check. It's right. He's got mojo. Wait.
He has to shovel.
Oh, thank you. Ready? $10. Okay. So sad. For another day.
All right, for the lottery box, it's number, last four digits, 1840. 1840. All right, Samantha, you want to get a picture? I'll come to you. Get a picture of all the rooms. Thank you, Katie. I am sure you'll use those lottery bucks well. All right, and with that, we have a little break in the action, and so we get some fellowship for about 9 minutes.
Did you recognize some of the J.C. Creed in there? And I tried to blend the J.C. Creed and it wouldn't surprise you that my daughter is the last one. We expected any moment.
All right, so we got to take this for a moment. would like to introduce the club for next Saturday.
Hey, sorry for interrupting your socializing, but anybody interested in Saturday's NASCAR race, I have 4 tickets. Petty Terrace, I'm not sure what that is, but 4 tickets, row 60, seats 1 through 4, at Petty Terrace for Saturday's NASCAR race. Anybody interested, just seek me out. Thanks.
Very good, thank you, Eddie. All right, back to the microphone.
She's still playing quarterback. Directing traffic. She has that little spot right there between the kitchen and all the managers. She's directing all the different waiters and waitresses. Every morning, bring and bless it. Come out of Monday River and brings it out and then around all the communities, all these churches of people who are they gave up their precious.
I was in England, and I was in Spain, and I was supposed to go to Greece to see my granddaughter, but they finished their semester, and they came back to Savannah. So I went to Casablanca and to Marrakesh, and had a fabulous time. I have been there for 28 years. You have
everybody up to introduce our speaker for today. Lisa.
What a delicious lunch. Thank you, everybody. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. It is my honor to introduce our guest speaker. It's not every day we get to be in the presence of greatness, but today I'm very grateful that we are. Las Vegas is hosting Navy Week. When you're posting on social media, please use the hashtag Navy Week. This is the first time that Las Vegas has had this honor. The opportunity came to us in spring, and the destination jumped in to show our gratitude not only for the United States Navy, but all of our armed forces near and abroad. Our distinguished speaker has a unique and fascinating story to tell about why the Navy is so important not only to Nevada, but the U.S. It is my extreme pleasure to introduce Rear Admiral Joaquin Martinez, Reserve Deputy Director of Maritime Operations of the U.S. Pacific Fleet.
Really appreciate the opportunity to come out and get a chance to speak to you all. Just an amazing organization and get a sense of all the great work that you do. And one of the reasons that we like to come out and talk to the strategic leaders of the community when we do a Navy Week is it gives us an opportunity to share our message about what your Navy is doing and give you an understanding of how your Navy is operating, and also hopefully give you a connection to how your community is tied into the Navy. And so we are super excited to be here. And I'd really like just to thank all of you from the Rotary Club, esteemed guests, Kirk, Lisa, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. It's, like I said, Las Vegas Navy Week is a time that brings us closer to the heart of Nevada, a state with deep and storied connection to our service. While Las Vegas may not be the first city that comes to mind when thinking of the Navy, the bond between Nevada and the Navy is rich in history and pride, most famously embodied by the iconic battleship USS Nevada. She was commissioned in 1916 and served in World War I and World War II. She served with great distinction in both. She became a symbol of American resilience during the attack on Pearl Harbor on December the 7th, 1941. That day, and amidst all that chaos, she was the only battleship to get underway from Battleship Row. She actually got underway, she gained steam and was heading out the harbor. But her crew realized she was sinking. And thinking very quickly, they decided to beach the ship versus have her sink in the harbor. To give you an idea of what the strategic problem that would have been for the United States Navy had she sunk, she would have blocked the harbor for Pearl for 6 months to a year while they tried to get her out of the way. And the problem was Halsey's carrier fleet was outside the harbor, and it is the only place in Hawaii that they could have pulled into to refit, rearm, and go chase down the Japanese task force that had attacked Pearl Harbor. And luckily, because the crew did what they did, they were able to do that and get underway with the war quickly. So that's tremendous courage, there's tremendous history there, and tremendous pride. But the good news is, she came back in the war. So after she was beached, they repaired her, fixed her, and got her back underway. She served in Okinawa, she served at Iwo Jima, she served at D-Day. So she got back into the fight very quickly after her damage at Pearl Harbor. And that message of perseverance, resiliency, is what we're trying to communicate about what your Navy is all about. Because you can take a punch and get back off the floor with that resiliency, and that's what your Navy's doing. And that's the history and the legacy of the USS Nevada battleship. But I'd also like to talk to you about the current USS Nevada, because there is a current USS Nevada. It is a strategic ballistic missile submarine that goes on patrol with strategic ballistic missiles and guarantees our freedoms today. It is part of the nuclear triad, it does part of the silent service, and it goes out and disappears and guarantees that we have a retaliatory strike capability if and when called upon. And that is part of the connection that you have. And we actually have about 8 sailors from the USS Nevada here with us in the different events that we're having. So you can actually meet sailors from the ship named after this beautiful state right here. So let's talk a little bit about the Navy and why we need a strong Navy. The Navy is a global force operating in fleets across the world's oceans and serving as America's first line of defense. Our sailors are part of the away team, operating far from home to ensure the safety and security of America's shores. The Navy presence sends a powerful message. America is always ready to protect and defend freedom. However, the threat landscape is evolving. Our adversaries have adapted their strategies, and operating from the maritime sanctuary is no longer a luxury. To meet these challenges, we are preparing sailors for a complex future battlefield with innovative systems and skills. Let's consider why the Navy does what it does. More than 41 million U.S. jobs, 26% of the workforce, are directly or indirectly tied to global trade. 26% of U.S. manufacturing jobs depend on exports. More than 20% of all U.S. agricultural products are exported. To give you an idea, just for the state of Nevada, $11 billion is exported out of the state of Nevada through the maritime domain. For Las Vegas alone, $2.7 billion. Most of it in raw materials and products like that, commodity products. But that is, even here, you are tied to the maritime trade in this area. America remains a global leader with global interests. Households and businesses throughout the United States benefit from the steady flow of resources and goods across the ocean. In essence, every time we sit down for a meal or use technology in our daily lives, we can trace back those conveniences to the global trade routes that your Navy helps protect. This is not just about military might, it's about securing a way of life for Americans. The United States has always been a maritime nation, and America's warfighting Navy is not a new concept. Officially established on October 13, 1775, during the American Revolution, the U.S. Navy emerged as a crucial force for securing independence against the British Empire. Our leaders recognized that control of the seas was essential for survival and protecting vital trade routes. President George Washington famously stated, "Without a decisive naval force, we can do nothing definitive, and with it, everything honorable and glorious." This foresight led to the formation of the Continental Navy, a determined force tasked with disrupting British supply lines and safeguarding our maritime interests. Sound familiar? After the Revolutionary War, merchant ships faced new threats from Barbary pirates in response to demands for tributes. Congress enacted the Naval Act of 1794, authorizing the construction of 6 frigates: Chesapeake, Congress, Constellation, Constitution, President, and United States, to protect America's interests. Believe it or not, Constitution is still a commissioned ship to this day. These ships became a symbol of a young nation's resolve to assert its sovereignty. While today's Navy may differ in technology and scope, our mission remains unchanged: to protect America's interests wherever they are. As maritime challenges grow, we must confront the changing dynamics presented by China and Russia, both of which increasingly use their national power to intimidate, disregard international law. China's revisionist strategy is aimed at undermining U.S. maritime power, using expansive strategic maneuver and a growing naval presence to assert influence and challenge global norms. Russia, on the other hand, seeks to destabilize the international order as seen in its military involvement in conflicts like Ukraine, Georgia, and Syria, which are all in clear violation of international agreements. To address these threats, integrated naval power and international collaboration are essential. Integrated deterrence is the cornerstone of the 2022 National Defense Strategy. The Naval Service's ability to control the sea and project power from both land and sea has underpinned America's national defense and economic vitality for generations. It is central to integrated deterrence in the future. Sea control provides maneuver to the joint force and our allies while denying it to our enemies in conflict. Our ability to project power deters aggression by convincing rivals they have no viable means of achieving their objective through force. The power of like-minded nations is a key strategic advantage to our rivals. We must invest in these relationships. All nations benefit from free and open access to the maritime domain, and we are focused on fostering a united global effort to safeguard this access. Trust and interoperability with our maritime allies requires presence and active engagement. Strengthening these relationships enhances collaboration in both peace and conflict. We must counter malicious activities on the ground rather than from afar. Our force generation models ensure ready naval forces to deter aggression and respond swiftly when needed. By controlling the seas, we protect our allies, minimize our threats, and ensure freedom of action for the joint force. We also face subtle threats, including social media weaponization, cyber activities necessitating active competition to safeguard our interests. Agile naval forces are essential for addressing dynamic challenges. Our goal is to create a modernized naval force that not only stands the test of time, but also adapts to the ever-changing maritime landscape. This isn't just about building ships. It's about developing a force with the right size and capabilities to effectively compete, deter aggression, and if necessary, decisively win in conflict. To safeguard national security, we're retiring outdated platforms and investing in advanced technologies to stay ahead. Our future fleet will be adaptable with seamless hardware and software upgrades to keep pace with innovation. The Navy's greatest advantage is our workforce. To maintain that edge, we must recruit and retain diverse, skilled personnel, train them to work with cutting-edge technologies, and equip them to excel in both competition and conflict. Las Vegas Week isn't a direct recruiting initiative, but it does set the stage for future efforts by raising awareness of the Navy in areas like Las Vegas, where our presence isn't routine. The events taking place here this week might just inspire future naval leaders from right here in Nevada. We will continue investing in resilient, educated sailors capable of outthinking, outfighting any adversary, and fostering an inclusive culture built on toughness, trust, and connectedness. America's warfighting Navy is prepared 24/7 to defend our nation, protect our allies, and safeguard our interests globally. The vast oceans enable us to project power anywhere, utilizing naval strength from the sea. Our fleet's foundation lies in our ships. Today, the Navy has evolved from those original 6 frigates and the battleship USS Nevada to a diverse fleet that includes 97,000-ton aircraft carriers and agile littoral combat ships. The presence of these vessels help deter conflict and manage tension. Undersea warfare has always been a hallmark of America's Navy, and this tradition thrives today. Our submarine force has evolved from diesel-electric boats to advanced nuclear-powered vessels equipped with torpedoes, tomahawks, and ballistic missiles. The greatest asset of our submarines remains their stealth, the ability to strike from the depths without warning. Today, USS Nevada, SSBN 733, is part of the Navy's ballistic submarine fleet, often referred to as the Silent Service, which plays a crucial role in the national defense and strategic nuclear deterrence. While the mission of submarines like Nevada may not make the headlines, they are vital to our security strategy, patrolling undetected and preventing conflicts before they escalate. Deterrence relies on adversaries recognizing the severe consequence of threatening the United States. Naval aviation is a crucial element of America's warfighting Navy, and Nevada serves as a cornerstone of our naval aviation readiness. Just outside Reno, Naval Air Station Fallon is the Navy's premier tactical air warfighting training center, where our best pilots come to refine their skills. Every Top Gun pilot you've seen or heard about or seen in a movie, the best of the best, has honed their skills in Nevada. At the forefront of modern naval aviation is the F-18 Super Hornet, a multi-mission jet designed for various operations, including air-to-air combat and electronic warfare. The Super Hornet is part of a diverse fleet, including planes and helicopters and unmanned aircraft, which collectively form the backbone of American power and enable independent operations worldwide. Special warfare provides qualified officers the opportunity to be a member of one of the world's elite fighting forces. As a branch of the U.S. Special Operations Force, Navy SEALs are known and respected around the world. Navy Special Warfare is the Navy Special Operations Force and maritime component of the United States Special Operations Command. This community is organized around 8 SEAL teams, 1 SEAL Team Delivery Vehicle team, 3 special boat teams, and supporting commands that deploy forces worldwide. The Department of Defense's Maritime Explosive Ordnance Disposal Warfare component is uniquely trained to operate across all military operations. Explosive Ordnance Disposal Warfare officers receive extensive training that enables them to effectively manage and neutralize explosive threats in diverse operational environments. In addition to the physical environment, we must operate in space and electromagnetic spectrum and cyberspace with both offensive and defensive capabilities, collectively known as information warfare. This approach leverages communications, networks, intelligence, oceanography, meteorology, cryptology, electronic warfare, and cyberspace operations to degrade, deny, deceive, or destroy an enemy's information environment while enhancing our own operational effectiveness. Navy Medicine develops certified medical courses to prepare the military community for challenges. In February of 2023, it collaborated with Japan, Australia, and France in Cove North, highlighting global readiness. In September 2023, Navy Medicine partnered with Egyptian Naval Forces for Exercise Bright Star, enhancing patient care in diverse naval environments. Through multinational events and allied collaboration, Navy Medicine significantly contributed to a healthier, more resilient naval force worldwide. I hope this presentation has highlighted the vital role of America's warfighting Navy. Our Navy remains ready. Just as sailors of the USS Nevada were at Pearl Harbor, and as the current crew of the USS Nevada and our forward deployed forces worldwide are today. Our strength lies not in our ships and technology, but in the dedication of our sailors, their families, and supportive communities like Las Vegas. On behalf of the United States Navy, thank you for your partnership. We'll go ahead and open the floor to questions. Yeah, we're going to open the floor. So.
Yeah, I wanted to know if, I know that as humans, everybody has their personal opinion, and I'm not actually looking for the opinion, but I just wanted to know if your day-to-day activities were very different under different political regimes, with a Republican or a Democrat. I know everybody has preferences, but day-to-day, as a military man at your level, are your day-to-day activities drastically different under one side of the fence or the other?
Yeah, I think from a military strategy, we tend to take a longer view of things, so we don't really get involved in all the politics of it. And we work as the military. We are subject to our civilian leaders, and so we respond to our civilian leaders. But we have a long-term military strategy that I think you see that is fairly congruent across different administrations and things like that. So, but again, we respond to the orders of the civilian leadership as it's given to us.
Admiral, over here. Thank you for talking to us. I don't know how much you can answer this question, but one of the lessons of the Vietnam War was, especially General Colin Powell, country's got to be with you. We've got to play to win, fight to win. And yet we're repeatedly attacked by Houthi rebels with very sophisticated weaponry. And I think from a national leadership point of view, everything's okay because we've never lost, other than the 2 SEALs, we've never lost any sailors to these attacks until it happens. And then it'll be a crisis. So my question is, if this were more warlike, I would be reading at least weekly, if not daily, about interdiction and bombing campaigns to deny them the ability to attack our Navy. Are we doing enough of that right now, or are we just sort of laying back and taking and assuming we can, or hoping we can knock every single missile down?
Yeah, so I can't get into all the tactical details. There was a press release just a couple of days ago where we had launched some bombers and did some deep strikes on where we think the Houthis are making some of their materials, and so we'll do some of those deep strikes. I think the one thing you have to take away from your confidence with our sailors is we have been engaged, hundreds of times now by the Houthis. And by the way, this isn't the first time. They've shot a couple of cruise missiles at us. Previously, they took a couple of pot shots about 10 years ago at some of our ships. But I think the thing that really makes me very confident about our ability to defend is we have a very deep layers set of defense. From carrier aircraft that are out there defending it, to ships that are out there defending it, all the way into the electronic warfare that are out there defending it. But there is definitely a campaign designed around how do we attrite that and reduce the risk. But the reason those ships are there and they continue to protect those areas is to keep that free flow of commerce going through, which I talked about earlier, which is, if you look at where merchants and traffic go, they typically go through the Red Sea and out through the Suez Canal, back through the Med, and same thing, Med down through the Red Sea over to Asia. Without that sea route, you have to go all the way around Africa. And that adds months and months, and it leads to a lot of the supply chain issues that you've seen in the past, where you have huge delays in supply chains because of the delay, and then you're also going to have a lot of cost increase associated with it. And so that's what those ships are really doing out there, is maintaining a safe corridor so that the merchant ships can go through there. And then we are working with the National Command Authority to understand how we attrite the Houthi capability as they go through there. But you should have great confidence in our ability to defend ourselves against them. Their weapons, I gotta be careful what I say here. They have complex weapons, they have volumes of weapons, but so do we. And the skill and the training, what's great about our folks is they are highly trained, highly skilled. We prepare them ruthlessly for combat before we go over there. You can never be perfect. Like even the Top Gun folks, when they go through training, the critiques that they do afterwards, they could do it as almost perfectly as humanly possible, and they still get ripped to shreds in those debriefs to try to make them better. And we are constantly looking at it. One of the other things that has come out of it is our cycle of learning. It used to take us, if the ship had an engagement like that, months to get the data off the ship, get it back to the technical and the tactical community to evaluate how that ship did and then provide feedback. We now are doing that in a day. So those ships are learning incredibly fast and much faster than anybody can innovate against them on how to make adjustments to their teams, how to be able to make adjustments to their weapon systems so that they can more effectively engage any kind of hostile threat.
Yes, sir. Admiral Martinez.
Yes, sir.
In 1945, I was 15, so I saw the end of the Second World War. And since that day, all my life, I've heard that the United States has the most formidable naval force in the world. China now is, at least the statistics state that China's Navy has more boats than we do, more ships. And has that changed the equation, or does the coalition with others make us still the most formidable force?
So I would throw two things at that. First, yes, China has been developing and growing a fleet. Even just in my career, they used to be just a backwater navy with a couple of ships that could maybe go to sea. And now they're a formidable force. They're what we would call a near-peer competitor. So while they are growing in capability and capacity, I would put our Navy against them anytime, anywhere, any day. And the reason why I would do that is because of the sailors that we have in our United States Navy. That is the difference maker. You can have, it's almost like, companies and countries, they can all have the same capability and capacity, but it's the people that make the difference. And the innovation, the thinking, the ability to take what we call mission orders, which is, hey, here's kind of what I want you to do, go figure it out. That kind of capability that they have, that decisiveness, that skill that we hone in them, that training will outclass, outmatch anybody in the world. And they have that ability to do that. Because it's not just about having the Gucciest electronic warfare capability or the Gucciest missile. You have to know how to really operate it, and you have to know how to really do it. And the stuff that we're operating is incredibly complex. And our guys, we train them, those guys and gals out there that are out there, every day, we drill them. They don't get, from the moment they come out of a repair availability, we start their force development process. We start with the basics, and then build and build and build. And then even once they deploy, they are training and training and training. To your other point with our allies and partners, huge force multiplier with our allies and partners. You look at how we look at allies and partners versus the Chinese or even the Russians. Our allies and partners, we look at them as peers. And we work with them as peers. And they bring a variety of different capabilities, and we take advantage of the ones that we do. The Japanese, for example, have been huge partners with us. They just bought 400 Tomahawks from us and are installing those Tomahawks. They have bought 8 Aegis destroyers and are looking to buy 3 more. You look at the Koreans have about 8 Aegis-class destroyers, and they're building 3 more right now at a rate of about 1 every 18 months. And so you see these capabilities that these countries have, and they all bring those capabilities with us. And when you bring that allied force together, it's incredibly powerful. Even countries like Peru. We actually, right now, are using one of the oilers from Peru in Southern California to refuel our fleet so that we can push more of our oilers forward. And they're helping us out with doing that. The New Zealanders, who you normally don't think of as a huge world power, they just ran one of their oilers through the Taiwan Straits, aggravating the Chinese. Same thing with the Japanese, which was the first time they've ever done this. The Japanese went out of their home waters and went down through the Taiwan Straits to the very heavy annoyance of the Chinese, which made me happy that day.
And with that, meeting adjourned.